I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. Hey Twinfiknights. Yeah, maybe I haven't done your here, but you can call me Amy. So earlier today I got the chance to check out Adventure Combat Ops. I'm so exhausted that that sentence took me like 3 takes. I just want to lay down and go to sleep forever. For those that are unaware about what Adventure Combat Ops is, it's basically a simulation of a video game. But not just any video game, of course, it's a first-person shooter. What you do is you gear up in airsoft equivalents of, you know, real guns, and then you run through a course with actual operatives going through a mission, basically. And then there are zombies. For my mission, for example, I had to go through a prison where I needed to look for a scientist that got kidnapped by terrorists, and then, oh my god, there's also a zombie outbreak inside of the prison. Things are happening. Unlike anything you see from laser tagging or paintballing, they're going for the actual experience of being a special operative, and it shows because they actually have people that were high up in the army, in various positions, all intimidating. Right now they're on tour, and this was actually the last Miami stop. They have plans of going up the East Coast, going through the Midwest, down to Texas, through the West. So everybody's gonna get a chance to be able to check this out, and I urge you to. They basically offer a small glimpse into the real world of Green Berets and Navy SEALs. I mean, it was so hardcore that I'm actually really exhausted while giving this video review. You're actually given a briefing. You're actually run through a training where they teach you CQC and CQB and how to motion for your team to go. But all that goes out the window when you're in the middle of a zombie invasion. Another cool thing about this entire operation is that the actual location is different every single time, apparently. Now, the base price may seem pricey, but it's not. When you're actually considering that they're using explosions and fireworks and all that stuff to entertain you. Think one of those shows that you see at Disney, except you're actually a part of the action rather than just watching from benches far away. A rocket came flying at me and my team leader, and while I was like, whoa, get away, I'm pretty sure a rocket has enough blast radius to have killed us both right there. And here's the part of the review where I talk about the things that I would change. They need to market it more as what it is, rather than saying that it is a video game experience, which it actually is. I mean, you're going through a Call of Duty type of scenario. It's pretty awesome if you love video games. I would advertise it as an actual glimpse into the world of these soldiers that are out there every day, you know? And on top of that, I would market it a lot more. I tweeted a photo of the event. Immediately I got a bunch of people asking like, what is this? What is it? Well, people need to know. I think that the squads that go into the actual event need to be a lot smaller. There were plenty of times when there weren't enough zombies and we were just standing around not really doing anything, just spotting them, and then other people kill them. And that leads me to my next point. There needs to be way more zombies. The terrorists were a nice touch because they had an enemy that actually fired back at you, but ultimately the zombies become a huge part of the latter arc of the story, and it would be way better if it just overran us inside of that prison. There were a lot of times where we were going through the actual cells, looking into the, which by the way was a real prison, they used a real prison. And there were times when you went inside of a cell and you could have looked inside of a cell and hopefully there was a zombie there to catch you by surprise, but there never was. Additionally, I think that a lot of the tacked on prices are a little bit excessive. For example, I think that water should probably be free if people are paying that much, and they might die once people figure out that the more advanced packages are just basically things that'll bog you down. For example, I used 2 of the artillery of guns. They have a lot of airsoft weapons. I used 2 of the guns, and they both felt exactly the same, which by the way I thought was really funny that one of the operatives said that with all his time working in the military, which was a lot, with all his time, he never once saw somebody that actually fired a weapon in full auto, and nobody else did either. So we've been doing it wrong, guys. All this time. Call of Duty. Wrong. SOCOM. Incorrect. Additionally, I think that the story needs a revamp, and yes, the story should be quite minimal because you're doing action all the time, but I felt like I didn't really know what was happening and why we were doing things. I think that with a really engaging story, with certain events that get triggered, and emotions that are felt because of these events, this could really be an experience that changes people. Rather than something that you just walk through kind of on wheels. If you truly wanted the video game experience in real life, you would have much more impact on emotions, because that's what video games do. My dog's trying to get in. The advanced equipment just kind of bogs you down, especially if you're in a city that's really, really hot. I was dying in the military outfit. Just dying. I thought it was really cool. I mean, when we got our first kill, Danny and I, it was like such a cool feeling. Like, oh my god, we did it in real life. Oh my god. And then there was one moment where a terrorist, it was like 20 of us outside of the building behind cars for cover, and then a terrorist popped his head out from the roof really, really fast, and immediately all 20 guns were just on him. It honestly leaves for such a funny experience between you and your friends or you and your family. There were moments where I was just like, I suck at this. I always ended up behind Silver Rhino, my operative leader, that's his name, it's incredible. I always ended up behind him in a like hallway. He was always like in a combat ready position waiting for me to, because apparently what you're supposed to do is have your hand on them and then squeeze and release when you want them to move forward. I was so caught up in everything that I would just like what are you waiting for, Silver Rhino? What do you you gonna do the squeeze and release thing, or did you pay attention in training at all? No. Too busy staring at the Navy SEAL. And that ultimately is what Adventure Combat Ops is, basically sensory overload. You're given a small glimpse into the lives of these people that go out there and need to be combat ready at all times. It puts into perspective the video games that we play and how really they're not that accurate. I highly recommend it to anybody that loves video games and anybody that has the slightest bit interest in feeling really tired for the rest of the day and wants to shoot some zombies in real life. You can play either a soldier or the zombie. The zombie's free, but you're gonna get pelted by bullets. And by bullets, I mean airsoft bullets. Pebbles, really. It's honestly really fun. And until we get some sort of amusement park where we get to recreate every type of video game, this is the closest that we're going to get to a first-person shooter. Complete with a story and missions and operatives telling you what to do. Alright, bye! Oh, and here's an interview too that I did with Silver Rhino.
Adventure Combat Ops is a company that's offering an experience that's not paintball, it's not airsoft, we use airsoft technology, but what we're offering is a glimpse into the world of special operations. People are always through books and magazines and video games asking what is it that special operations people actually do. So we're trying to provide that experience on an entertainment level, hence the zombies, and it's the hot genre right now, so it kind of just makes the icing on the cake. My background is 22 years Army Special Operations Command with the 75th Ranger Regiment. I actually just retired last Friday.
Congrats.
My teammates range anywhere from 23 years in the Special Forces community, 26 years in the Ranger community, 10 years in the Navy SEAL community. We've got some RSOC operators, and we've also got some Delta Force operators.
Awesome. And are you, where are you planning on taking this tour?
Hopefully, everywhere.
Okay, that's awesome.
Miami is our kickoff event. Right now, I know that the higher-ups are talking about doing an event in Tampa, or trying to do an event in Tampa in January. And then eventually, I think somewhere around February, March, the Raleigh-Durham area. June, we're looking at Boston, and some follow-on places in Texas and Atlanta. They were sitting on an objective, some of the guys one night. It was cold, and they were waiting on some things to go down, and you just start talking about things, and this idea of selling what we do for a living just started popping up, and it was the snowball effect. Hey, what if we throw in zombies? What if we throw in terrorists in the apocalypse? And it literally was just a snowball effect that rolled downhill and found ourselves in Miami.